Okay, I want somebody to explain me like I'm 5. How can somebody have 700% return on their investment without having privileged information? And we are talking, of course, of Nancy Pelosi, that Jake Tapper asked her live about the insider trading that everybody knows that she has been into, but nobody seems to care up till now that Donald Trump called her out live. We're going to see a couple of things. You need to remember that I already made a couple of videos about Nancy. How did Nancy Pelosi become so rich? And Nancy Pelosi's body language of arrogance. Yeah, the first one, both of them, you can still check them out here on my Body Language Guy channel. But also this is what Trump said about Pelosi.
I like it conceptually, and Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened.
This just happened. I studied this very carefully. She became very rich with insider trading. Trump said all this. Pelosi became rich by having inside information. You cannot get more clear than this.
So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen?
You know that Trump is being serious because he does that raspy voice thing practically. That that he's being serious in there.
It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
So Jake Tapper asked her the question, and this is the body language that we are going to analyze right now.
It was. Let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid.
First thing first, you are about to be asked a question about something that you apparently have nothing to do with. You are innocent of any insider trading. All those claims that you have been benefiting from inside information to be able to invest and become insanely rich, all of that is not true. So what is the problem of answering a question about that? If you're innocent, what is the big deal? That is the first red flag. And we also had a kind of a red flag here when she had that eyebrow raise, even if we know that, well, her eyebrows don't move a lot, maybe because of Botox. But no, we know that she's got a bit of trouble moving her eyebrows. And she also made this something with her mouth. I think that I made sure to, right here. Before, she did that. She wet her lips before because she knew that the question about the insider trading was coming. So she was already uneasy about that. Why would she be if she is innocent?
I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused.
It would be very easy. I came here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid, but if you want to insist in that question that leads to nothing, well, go ahead, ask your question. Tapper asks the question, she answered, no, I have nothing to do with insider trading. Can we move on now? And that way you can make a stand about your innocence, and that way you can make the journalist, in this case Jake Tapper, look like a fool. But no, she was nervous. She was triggered for some reason.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
Trump accused her of insider trading directly. What is her response to that? And she just went blank for a couple seconds.
What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail.
I think it's very convenient that, as Tapper was mentioning, we got difficulties. We got some technical issues. I think the technical issues was some kind of a problem with the signal on Pelosi's side, and that's why we see those jumps, even if the audio will never cut, at least that we know. I think this was live, but her answer has 2 points, has 2 things in her answer that I want to talk about.
The trading of members of Congress, not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong.
I don't think. In
fact, I very much support the trading of.
I very much support the stop the trading of members of Congress. That is for somebody who has her lifetime speaking in public, making that blunder. That is odd. Again, somebody who is not used to the camera, somebody who is not used to be interviewed live, it would be natural to be nervous, natural to make blunders, natural to stutter. But Pelosi shouldn't be. It's a seasoned politician is an understatement. So when she makes a blunder, it's because you know she's nervous for something. And this was a strange blunder beyond what the technical details could have been.
In fact, I very much support the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong.
It's not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. It's like, I don't know, you might be supporting that the law is enforced, and this is adding fluff to the answer. It's not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. Why would she say that? That is odd. That is a yellow flag. It's like you're adding fluff to your answer. Like in, it's not that I think that somebody is doing anything wrong. Why would you say that? If somebody is doing something wrong, well, they should be punished. And she says that after this fluff.
If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time.
I have no concern about the obvious investments that have been done over time.
Investments that had been made
over time. Investments by whom is my question. That was strange. I have no concern about the obvious investments.
Concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time.
Is she talking about herself? Is she talking about herself in the third person, or is she talking about other people in Congress?
I'm not into it. My husband is.
I'm not into it. My husband is. Oh, I am not into insider trading. My husband, the guy that I share a bed with, the guy that I sleep with, the guy that I have breakfast with, the guy that, well, I spend weekends with, he is into that, not me. Oh, we can rest better, we can sleep better at night now that we have that information. Thank you.
But it isn't anything to do with anything insider.
But it isn't anything to do with anything insider. Whatever my husband does has nothing to do with anything insider. I mean, there are so many yellow flags. I should have a flag system that when we have 2 yellow flags, that should amount to a red flag. That I should establish that in this channel, because this is laughable by this point. I mean, she is exposing herself, and I think that's the reason why she didn't want to answer this question.
But it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposures.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked the question. Somebody is accusing her. Let's, do a 180 and point the answer or point the question at them. Point the accusation at them. There's something that, the deflection. Sometimes people deflect in other direction, but in this case, she wanted to deflect towards Trump himself.
So he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family. And while he might make fun of us while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband.
And notice that the deflection includes that, oh, he's making all these attacks to my family. He's inspiring to these people to go into my house. And, you remember I made a video about that. Thank you, YouTube, for almost censoring that video. The guy that entered the Pelosi's house and was caught with that hammer next to the husband. That was really odd. That was really strange. And that didn't look like a break-in. That looked like a lovers discussion.
In a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot. I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now, rather to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid.
Oh yeah, she wanted to deflect, but again, that face tells you everything that you want to know. And also the numbers. We got total fallout. Senator Josh Hawley just introduced the Pelosi Act, a bill to ban congressional stock trading, but he sided against the Republicans to get it through. Trump backed it, then turned on him. Now he's demanding Pelosi be investigated for insider trading. And we have some numbers in here. Thanks to Scott84 Henderson FL 1076. I picked on Ashley Moody yesterday. So I will enlighten everyone about Nancy Pelosi today. Nancy Pelosi is the godfather of insider trading. Since 2014, she has made 182 trades and has amassed the most diabolical return ratio I have ever seen. More than 700%. No, that's not a typo. This woman has out-invested everyone, as Trump says. So again, make sure that you check my video on how did she become so rich. It's a mystery and not a mystery at the same time. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Remember to download my free 100 Body Language tips right in the description of this video. Much love and bliss.